over the news, I noticed under the sun, struggling to find my focus. When I was young, young and dumb, I was always running away. Born in the wild, born in the wild, born in the wild, born in the wild. I grew up in the wilderness, didn't know much about openness. Born in the wild, born in the wild, born in the wild.
Woo! Life hack of the century, walking. Gives you time to think, you move your body, release endorphins to kind of like balance up here. And yeah, I've usually listened to music, and right now the two albums that have me in a chokehold are Born in the Wild by Tems and I forget the other one, but it's the latest album of Blast. Reading already makes me sleepy. It's a very calming thing for me, and you mix in the fact that I'm right up on the cusp of my sleep routine and I'm barely getting through half a page. So today I switched it up and I am finally using some of the credits that I've stored up before I canceled my Audible subscription, and I got that Colleen Hoover book, especially since the movie just came out. I'm working night shift. I have a couple hours before I need to go in, and I'm gonna try to make breakfast. I'd show you my apartment, but first impressions are everything, so I'm not gonna show y'all. But yeah, we're gonna get this house in order this week, and maybe I'll show you guys a little bit of the job.
I'm sitting across from you. Vibrations I strum in the emptiness in the room melting. All your words in my hand. Tell me all the things that I am. I wish that I could speak your perfect language. I wish that we could travel to those places where we're faceless and we're nameless. Don't you?
Not my dressiest outfit, but we have to move quick today. I've already completed one interview, and my story is focused on the city of Owensboro kind of allowing medical cannabis dispensaries, and just the state too as well, Kentucky as a whole, and what that means for each county, whether they want to opt in or opt out of allowing things like that. And so I just spoke with our city planning commission, and I'm headed to one of the cities who has decided to opt out. I just hit my year mark. You learn as you go, and sometimes it's uncomfortable, but I've learned that the key to easing a lot of that is preparation. And some days are better than others, but this, because I work night shift today, when I typically work day shift, you kind of have to get on it since people are ready to go home by 5 or 6 and their workday ends and X, Y, and Z. And so I started a little bit early and set up those interviews, and I had to get rolling like in the next 20 or so minutes from making some of these calls to catch these people. No expert by any means, but I'm gonna try to share what little nuggets I have learned and I continue to learn along the way.
The Owensboro Metropolitan Planning Commission has recommended the approval for medical marijuana dispensaries to be introduced in Davis County.
The recommendations come as one city is requesting they not be included in the list of potential locations. Eyewitness News' Sydney Davis has the details.
Kentucky officials have given cities and counties the option to follow their own zoning regulations following the approval of a law that will legalize medical cannabis for Kentuckians next year. The decision deadline is December 31st. The Associate Director of Planning for the Owensboro Planning and Zoning Commission says they know where they stand on the issue.
We've been working with the city of Owensboro.
Proverbs 16. To humans belong the plans of the heart, but from the Lord comes the proper answer of the tongue. All a person's ways seem pure to them, but motives are weighed by the Lord.
She's murdering the makeup, but it's okay.
There was a large police presence with guns drawn. We're told officers from the OPD as well as the DEA arrived on scene quickly, beginning negotiation with the suspect.
That standoff occurred near Burns Elementary and Middle Schools, and police telling us they coordinated with those schools to make sure the students remain safe. The standoff lasted for 5 hours, beginning around 11.
Former University of Kentucky swimmer Riley Gaines was the guest speaker at the Union County and shared details about her decision to file a lawsuit against the NCAA. Gaines and 15 other athletes feel the organization violated a law that protects them against sex-based discrimination. County Republican Committee's Lincoln Dinner. The 12-time NCAA All-American spoke about her time as a Wildcat. A former University of Kentucky swimmer, Riley Gaines, was the guest speaker at the Union County Republican Committee's Lincoln Dinner.
The race usually comes down to just a few states, and if Trump wins... 10. Stand by. And total points in that game, a shootout in the state tournament, so we're looking forward to that week. What happened? We are. All right, thank you, Michael. We're back.
We were sweating up here, okay?
No.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I was trying to sing with you like you got time.
Yes, Mike 5. Live Broadcast News, I'm Sydney Davis in Morganfield. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Eyewitness News at 10 starts right now.
Stand by. 25 studio. This is Eyewitness News at 10.
We begin tonight with a national activist who has made waves in the conversation surrounding transgender athletes appearing in the tri-state.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Shelley Kirk.
I'm Brandon Bartlett.
Former University of Kentucky swimmer Riley Gaines was in Union County tonight speaking at the Republican Party's Lincoln Dinner. She made national headlines after criticizing transgender athletes in women's sports.
Well, tonight, Eyewitness News' Sydney Davis spoke with Gaines on her activism and how she's looking to make what she calls lasting change. Sydney?
Cultural chaos. That's how Riley Gaines Barker described the current state of the nation impacting people in communities like Morganfield. Tonight, the women's sports activist is speaking on the questions she says she hears often. How did we get here?
Having this conversation where we have to publicly declare that men and women are different, that boys and girls are different.
A former University of Kentucky swimmer, Riley Gaines, was the guest speaker at the Union County Republican Committee's Lincoln Dinner. The 12-time NCAA All-American spoke about her time as a Wildcat, what it takes to be an elite-level athlete, and shared details about her decision to file a lawsuit against the NCAA. Gaines and 15 other athletes feel the organization violated a law that protects them.
30 seconds.
According to Reuters, federal court records show as of August 2nd, the lawsuit filed by Gaines and her fellow athletes is still ongoing. Back to you guys.
Sydney, thank you. Tonight, a Kentucky congressman is weighing in on the race for the White House. Eyewitness News spoke with U.S. Representative.
Because in terms of the future, Sam makes me feel.
You go where you genuinely can see your future.
And I think with Sam, I feel like I was able to open up, you know?
An update following yesterday's standoff near Southtown Boulevard that ended with what police said was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Today, police tell us the suspect, 46-year-old Timothy Roberts, has died. That news comes as 2 more drug raids involving federal agents and local law enforcement unfolded today. Eyewitness News' Sydney Davis is there now and brings us more. Sydney?
Officials say there's not much information they can give at this time as the investigation is still ongoing. But here's what we know. I spoke with residents here on Twin Tree Court who tell me dozens of Owensboro police cars and DEA agents lined the streets just before 11 a.m. One person says he was held at gunpoint as law enforcement mistook his household for the one they were looking after as they tried to carry out their search warrants. The owners of the home that was actually raided say law enforcement bust down their doors before arresting a man. A female who also lives at the home was also issued citations for drug possession and drug paraphernalia. The family of the female says a medical condition requires she be bedridden. Now, another raid unfolded near 5th Street and is tied to yesterday's nearly 5-hour standoff. With Cravens Elementary less than a mile away as the raid unfolded, Owensboro Public Schools says OPD recommended they issue a temporary lockout. No one was allowed in the building or out of the building for about half an hour, and they say classroom activities were carried out as normal during that time frame. In Owensboro, Sydney Davis, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Sydney.
The news comes as 2 more drug raids involving federal agents and local law enforcement unfolded today.
Eyewitness News' Sydney Davis joins us now live with the latest on that.
And you're live at 4:30?
But yeah, he said around 4:30 because I'm D block. I'm D block.
Yeah.
Because right now, oh, there it is. He's worked as a tour manager and accountant for 10 years with clientele like CC Top and Amy Grant. He says learning more about the culture of Owensboro, including Janet Jackson, Leonard Skinner, and even Ray Charles.
Fox.
Patterson says his love of music but lack of musical ability is what led him to work with some of the world's greatest entertainers, including Janet Jackson, Leonard Skinner, and even Ray Charles.
Clear. Good job. Cleo.
Hey, you guys want a rubber ducky?
No, I love it though. Thank you.
Rubber ducky. Hey.
If only I owned a Jeep.
I was just about to say that. You beat me to it.